everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe that we're almost in October, but a new month means we get to talk about new books. So I'm gonna do what I usually do. We'll just go through the categories. We have fiction, thriller, horror, sci-fi, and of course all the books will be linked down below, so let's get started. Okay, so for fiction, we have Twice by Mitch Albom, and this is, I think, a romance novel. Yes, romance, fantasy, magical realism. Little blurb here says, what if you got to do everything in your life twice? Oh, so it sounds like there could be a little bit of time traveling going on here, maybe? When he's 8 years old, Alfie Logan discovers the magical ability to get a second chance at everything. He can undo any moment and live it again. The one he must accept the consequences of his second try, for better or worse. Eventually, Alfie turns his gift to his love life, studying his crushes and going back to make himself more appealing. Aha! This sounds like it could be really interesting. Next up is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. And this is about a local legend named the Watchman who can supposedly tell you when you'll die. And I'm not usually into fantasy novels, but this actually sounds really good. Then we have The Witching Moon Manor, and this is number 2 in the Spellbound Sisters series. And this is about witches who have to save the city from an uncertain destiny and help old friends find a happy end. And we have another witch book, Witches of Honeysuckle House. Haunted by a curse that kills someone close to their family every 13 years, two sisters must come together to break the spell and save that witch they hold most dear. And this sounds like it could be a really cozy, like, witchy mystery. Then we have Wreck by Catherine Newman, and I've actually seen that around, so I'm very intrigued by that. I have seen very good reviews of this. The acclaimed best-selling author of Sandwich is back with a wonderful novel full of laughter and heart about marriage, family, and what happens when life doesn't go as planned. Catherine Newman explores the hidden roles of family, the heavy weight of uncertainty, and the gnarly fact that people, no matter how much you love them, are not always exactly who you want them to be. Next up, we have The Devil is a Southpaw. And this sounds interesting to me because it's talking about a novel within a novel, and I love when books are written like that. So I'm definitely interested in this one. Next up, we have Cover Story, and this has a super short summary. Bells joined the tiny Manchester office of a national paper from her indie podcast. 30-something Connor is going to back to the start as the new intern. The latest office news, they can't stand each other. So of course, Belle bumps into Connor when she's working undercover on the biggest scoop of her career. And of course she's forced to improvise pretending they're a couple deeply in love. Oh, okay, so we're talking about enemies to lovers, which I know a lot of people love. Next up we have The Defender, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not super interested in this. However, I wanted to include this because I know that Anna Huang's books are extremely popular. Then we have Mate by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm gonna be honest, I have not read a single book by Ali Hazelwood before, but I know she's a super popular author. But this is about vampires and wolves, so I'm kind of intrigued. Then we have Overdue. Is it time to renew love or start a new chapter? This is about a librarian who has been dating her college boyfriend for 11 years, but now her sister has announced that she's getting engaged, so Ingrid feels pressured. And this sounds like it could be a very relatable story. And then we have The Land of Sweet Forever, Stories and Essays by Harper Lee. And this will include some newly discovered short stories by Harper Lee. Okay, and then for thrillers, we have The Hitchhikers. It's the summer of 1976, and Alice and Tom set out on the remote Canadian highways in their new RV, hoping to heal their broken hearts after a devastating tragedy. And then they meet two hitchhikers, and I'm sure it's not going to end well. Then we have The Picasso Heist by James Patterson. The art world ignites with the discovery of a previously unknown Picasso painting. After being hidden away for 50 years in the attic of a French villa, it's valued at $100 million and put up for auction. None of the interested parties have a chance at winning the Picasso without the help of Halston Graham. The young auction house employee graduated second in her class at Columbia, but she's a first-rate art thief and an expert gambler who knows how to calculate the odds and play her considerable leverage against all sides. Next, we have Gone Before Goodbye by Reese Witherspoon and Harlan Coben, and this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. And this is about a surgeon who's providing some unconventional medical assistance. And Maggie, who's the surgeon, is one of the very few surgeons in the world who can actually take on this job. And then it says, when the patient suddenly disappears while still under her care, Maggie must become a fugitive herself, or she will be the next one who is. Super intriguing. I can't wait. Then we have another highly anticipated book, Remain, and I think this is a really interesting author pairing. A one-of-a-kind novel that grapples with the supernatural mysteries of life, death, and human connection. An unprecedented collaboration between the globally best-selling author of love stories like The Notebook and the renowned writer and director of blockbuster thrillers like The Sixth Sense. Like I said, very interesting pairing. When New York architect Tate Donovan arrives in Cape Cod to design his best friend's summer home, he's hoping to make a fresh start. Recently discharged from an upscale psychiatric facility where he was treated for acute depression, he's still wrestling with the pain of losing his beloved sister. Sylvia's deathbed revelation that she can see spirits who are still tethered to the living world, a gift that runs in their family, sits uneasily with Tate, who struggles to believe in more than what reason can explain. Next up, we have The Widow by John Grisham, and I actually have an arc of this, so I will make sure to let you know what I think about it. But this is a lawyer who's taking on a case of an elderly widow, and then she gets into an accident and he becomes the suspect. Next up, we have All That We See or Seem. Okay, and this is saying it's a sci-fi thriller. Brand new series following former orphan hacker Julia Z as she is thrust into a high-stakes adventure where she must use her cybersecurity and hacking skills to unravel a virtual reality mystery, rescue a kidnapped dream artist, and confront the blurred lines between technology, identity, and the power of shared dreams. Next up, we have Boomtown, thriller debut about two missing erotic dancers from Atlanta's most notorious gentlemen's club and the woman committed to finding them. This tantalizing thriller will take you on a heart-pounding and page-turning journey through the peaks and valleys of Atlanta's underworld. Next up, we have Dating After the End of the World by Geneva Rose, and I have not read any of Geneva Rose's books, but I know that her books, The Perfect Marriage and The Perfect Divorce, are pretty popular. And this is interesting because the genres here say romance, horror, fiction, zombies, thriller, paranormal, and science fiction. So essentially it has everything but fantasy. And this is a zombie story after a mysterious viral outbreak changes everything. It's the end of the world and no one saw it coming, well, except for Casey's father. With no place left to turn and danger lurking around every corner, Casey's forced to return home. And then it sounds like it's also enemies to lovers because it's talking about that her dad has hunkered down with a group of survivors, including her arch nemesis, Blake Morrison, the high school bully who made Casey's teenage years a living hell. Next up, we have The Black Wolf by Louise Penny. And I have never read any of Louise Penny's books, but I know she's a very popular author. Then we have Girl Dinner, and I've seen that on my Instagram feed a lot. Every member of the house, the most exclusive sorority on campus, and all its alumni are beautiful, high-achieving, and universally respected. And this is dark academia, so it's perfect for fall. This is about two women, Nina and Sloane. As Nina and Sloane each get drawn deeper into the arcane rituals of the sisterhood, they learn that living well comes with bloody costs. And when they are finally invited to the table, they will have to decide just how much they can stomach in the name of solidarity and power. Then we have The Intruder by Frida McFadden. And I feel like Frida McFadden is coming out with a book every month. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of the books that have come out recently by Frida were already published in the past. It was just self-published, and now it's being traditionally published. At least that's my understanding. Casey's cabin in the wilderness is not built for a hurricane. Her roof shakes, the lights flicker, and the tree outside her front door sways ominously in the wind. But she's a lot more worried about the girl she discovers lurking outside her kitchen window. I'm always super interested in intruder stories, so this one I'm very interested in. Next up, we have Final Cut by Olivia Worley, and I had just read So Happy Together by her, and I thought that was okay. It wasn't bad. And recent high school graduate Hazel Lejeune, oh my gosh, I don't know, gets the lead role in a slasher film. It feels like a dream come true. This is her chance to break into the industry, build her reel, and prove to her mom that this gap year can turn into a career. So what if it's set in the nothing town of Pine Springs, Louisiana, the same place her father, the Pine Springs slasher, was convicted of a series of murders 15 years ago? Now this sounds interesting. Next up we have 640 to Montreal. Agatha needs to get some serious work done on her new book. To help her husband bought her quiet time to concentrate. A train ticket for a 6-hour ride from Toronto to Montreal. The time aboard sets the stage for a perfect riding retreat with only a handful of other passengers, plenty of snacks and drinks, and beautiful views. But Agatha has other plans for her day out, plans that are unexpectedly derailed when the train breaks down in the middle of the frigid Canadian woods, and one of Agatha's fellow passengers dies quietly in his seat. And I'll be honest with you guys, this whole premise with a train and people dying on the train has been way overdone at this point. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th book this year that has come out that has the same premise. But if you're into that, then I would definitely recommend you checking this out. Next up, we have Photograph by Brian Freeman, and I also have an arc of this. So this is about Shannon, a private investigator, and Shannon is getting a strange request from another woman who's asking to find out who she really is. Shannon soon discovered that Faith was hiding a whole other life, but was unable to penetrate the web of mystery the woman had built around her past. Now, Faith is dead. The only clue to who she was and why she was murdered is an old photograph of a little girl in the rain outside a Midwestern motel. Then for horror, we have Blood Like Ours. In this chilling follow-up to Blood Like Mine, one mother faces the ultimate supernatural horror, the monster she must become to protect her child. And I have not read Blood Like Mine, so I should probably be reading that first. Next up, we have The Hong Kong Widow. In a remote mansion, witnesses insist a massacre took place. The police see nothing but pristine rooms and declare it a collective hallucination. Until decades later when one witness returns. And then we have Atlas of Unknowable Things. Perfect for fans of the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle with a modern gothic twist. I have that book, but I haven't read it yet. And from reading the blurb here, it's about a college in the Rocky Mountains, so it's dark academia. The college has secrets of its own. Strange sounds echo across the Alpine Lake, lights flicker through the pines, and the faculty seem more like jazz-age glitterati than academics. And then there's the professor who holds the key to Robin's research. She vanished suddenly last spring. What exactly did she do at the college, and why does no one want to talk about her? And then we have Crafting for Sinners. And this sounds super interesting. This is saying a queer woman must fight her way out of a big box craft store run by a diabolical religious cult. And then we have The Haunting of Payne's Hollow. This is a supernatural horror about a haunted lakeside property and twisted family secrets. Tom's Crossing is something I'm very intrigued by because this is the author who wrote House of Leaves, and that's on my fall TBR. If you haven't watched my fall TBR video, I'm gonna link it. And this says it's about two friends determined to rescue a pair of horses set for slaughter. For sure, no one expected the dead to rise, but they did. For sure, no one expected the mountain to fall, but it did. And it says it's a masterful story of determination, perseverance, and humanity in the face of long odds and adverse fate. Next is the Graceview Patient. Margaret lives with a rare autoimmune condition that has destroyed her life, leaving her isolated. It has no cure, but she's making do as best as she can, until she's offered a fully paid for spot in an experimental medical trial at Graceview Memorial. Unsure of what's real and what is just medication-induced delusion, Margaret struggles to find a way out as her body and mind succumb further to the darkness lurking throughout Graceville's halls. Then we have The Last Witch. Will she be damned by flame or cursed by magic? Imprisoned with 6 other women, Helena is plunged from her bejeweled life of comfort into a world of terror. When a cursed witch totem is smuggled into the prison, the prisoners attempt to use it to conjure escape. But the totem is the severed hand of a murdered woman, and Helena's life is in danger both inside and outside the dungeon. And this is saying it's based on a real-life event. Interesting. Next up, we have The Night That Finds Us All. And this is quite interesting because this is not a haunted house story, but this sounds like a haunted sailboat story. Next up, we have Hazelthorne. Evander has lived like a ghost in the forgotten corners of the Hazelthorne estate ever since she was taken in by his reclusive billionaire guardian, Byron Lennox Hall, when he was a child. For his safety, Evander has been given 3 ironclad rules to follow. He can never leave the estate, he can never go into the gardens, and most importantly, he can never again be left alone with Byron's charming, underachieving grandson, Laurie. And when Byron suddenly dies, Evander inherits Hazelthorne's immense Gothic mansion and acres of sprawling grounds, along with the entirety of the Lennox Hall family's vast wealth. But Evander's sure his guardian was murdered, and Lori may be the only one who can help him find the killer before they come for Evander next. And then the only science fiction / dystopian book I could find for October is Conform. In the far future, one young woman finds herself torn between two loves and two sides of a rebellion boiling under the surface. In the first novel of a sweeping dystopian romance trilogy. I don't think I've read a dystopian romance before. Centuries after a catastrophic world war nearly decimated the human population, a city arose from the ashes, ruled by an elusive and technologically advanced group called the Ilum. Okay, I'm interested. So that is going to be it for today's video. Those were quite a few books, and I hope you were able to find some new books that sounded interesting that you want to add to your TBR. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.